Welcome to the Yud Shevat initiative, sponsored by Chabad of Coral Springs. In 1950, the previous Rebbe wrote a series of 4 Hasidic discourses, Maimarim, consisting of 20 paragraphs altogether. They were to be released on particular dates, marking the yahrzeits of his grandmother, his mother, and so on. It never came to happen, because on that Yud Shevat in 1950, the previous Rebbe passed away. These Maimarim became his signature Maimer, his final closing instructions to us. A year later, in 1951, his son-in-law, Rabbi Schneerson, our Rebbe, formally accepted in Nesias the leadership of Chabad. And for the next 20 years, he spent time explaining, elaborating one of those paragraphs. In 1956, he elaborated paragraph number 6. In the cycle, this year has to also elaborate 1956 or 1976. Today we are going to go over the 1956 Maimer uttered by the Rebbe. It starts, Bassi Legani achesi kala. Come into my garden, my sister bride. The word Gani, my garden, indicates that this is just not any garden, it's God's distinctive garden. Add that to the medrash that says, Gani lignuni. It's not merely a garden, it's my chuppah, my wedding canopy. This is an intimate garden where God's original presence was, what we call the Shekhinah. Unfortunately, although the Shekhinah was here in this world at the outset, because of the sins of Adam and Eve and the subsequent generations, each sin forced the Shekhinah to remove itself from our world until it was as far away as the 7th heaven. And then Abraham rose, and Abraham began to reverse the process. And this took place over 7 generations again, led by 7 tzaddikim. And the 7th tzaddik, Moshe Rabbeinu, and all 7s are beloved. Moshe Rabbeinu finally finished the process of bringing the Shekhinah, the divine presence, from the heavens into our physical world. Editor's note, we are the 7th generation of Chabad from the Alter Rebbe. It was therefore Moshe Rabbeinu's job and his generation's job to build a mishkan, to build a dwelling place for God, a dira b'tachtonim, literally a home for God. The fact that it says, V'shachanti b'tocham, when you build this mikdash, I will dwell in each and every single one of you, means that this is not merely a building that houses the Shekhinah. Our lives have to become a domicile for God's presence. In order for us to accomplish that, we need to copy the avoda, the service that took place in the Mishkan, which was primarily the offerings, the sacrifices. We too must make an offering. We bring our animal soul to God. We sacrifice that. And when we do this, God dwells in us. And the avoda is specifically the avoda of iskafia and ishapcha, where we subjugate our animal desires. And then we transform the animal into godly desires. Which is why the building of the Mishkan was made out of atzei shittim, literally cedar wood. But the word shittim is connected to the word shtus. Shtus means folly, insanity. Why would a soul deny or defy God? Only if it has a moment of temporary insanity. In order for us to counteract that, we must transform the insanity of this world into insanity for godliness. We must do things beyond rational, beyond reason. And when we do so, we bring down the Shekhinah, the divine presence, b'tachtonim, in this physical world, in our physical lives, and via us through the entire world. Now, this very first section really is only elaborating, or I should say really just telling us what the original Maimer said. Tomorrow, we will go into more details. Please share this with as many friends as you can. Our goal is to reach 400 people to learn this Maimer. Thank you very much, everyone. Hatzlacha Rabbah.